Hello, beautiful beings. I wanted to go do a couple more things, but it's not waiting. Feeling compelled is a lot like the urge to push when you're having a baby. For me, it is. It's just this. I'm doing this right now. Okay, so it's blizzarding out right now, and I was going to go clean a house because I need the money, and also I don't like letting my clients down. And no amount of logic could override the fear, the genuine fear I was feeling about driving in it. I was out on the highway. I was driving down the highway, and I just started shaking, and I pulled over right away and turned around and came back home. In all the years I've been cleaning, I've always said, I'm not going to risk my life to go clean a house and for money. It is a new moon solar eclipse right now. The eclipse was yesterday, but we're still heavily in the energy. So with this a very intense energy that's here, and it just keeps coming around in different ways, but different levels of intensity and different types of intensity. They're showing the energy being different types of intensity to help flush out certain types of like solidified, almost seemingly solidified thought patterns in the collective, in all of humanity. That's beautiful. We're not alone. We're not doing this alone. These energies may just feel like a burden at times, but I've been learning that it's here to help us. It's here to help push us through to the next level that they're showing is higher and higher up, and it's so much further away from just the turmoil that a lot of us used to live on a daily basis, just in our minds. It's life actually doesn't change, they're saying. It's my perception of it. It's just getting easier and easier because I've released so much resistance around just what is, and I've been practicing that for a while, just being in my own natural state of being. So things that come up in these energies seem like the same old things, and since they keep coming up, like marijuana, using medical marijuana has been something that has come up for me, whether I'm using it or not. If I'm not using it, I can go, I went like 8 months at a time. When I first quit drinking alcohol 22 years ago now, I quit everything. Alcohol was my drug of choice, and I rarely ever smoked marijuana because it just made me feel so spacey. And also they're reminding me that, and this is just for me, I'm not suggesting that it does for you also, but they're showing how when I use marijuana, it thins the veil. Because we have these natural veils in place, so amnesia veils basically. And so, to not remember the past lives and not remember, exactly why we're here, because that would ruin the fun, wouldn't it? If we knew the fun. So for me, for a really long time now, I have used marijuana as a spiritual aid. I have called it a spiritual lubricant for a long time, because I can go months and months and months without using it. And then when I start using it again, all these realizations, it's like it was the gestational period, the not smoking, and then I say smoking even if I use edibles. And then the smoking, it just helps release so much resistance in my body, just in my physical form alone. And I know that I am not the one having this. I'm not this person. I'm not the one using. Do I have to? No, they're saying I don't have to explain this. Not in that way anyway. That sounded more like justifying it. But see, so I've been working really hard for a long time on releasing any type of addiction. And this has been a really tricky one because I firmly feel that I have an endocannabinoid deficiency in my brain. And the reason that I keep and have kept going back to marijuana isn't what it used to be, they're saying. Right, yes, for escape. Because I just, but see, even then for myself, having that was such a comfort, such a relief, just because I didn't know how to navigate feeling what everybody else is feeling, and feeling all the energies on the planets, and even all the fear that's up for people today that are driving around, and even the fear of the people they're reminding me that are living in the park here. They're worried about their place freezing up because we're all in either campers or RVs. And I mean, this whole place is almost full right now. And that just goes to show you it's getting pretty expensive out there. And the ancients, God, the divine, all that is, creator, the great one, great spirit, it's all the same. It's just a pointing to the same thing every single time. Whatever's breathing us and beating our hearts. They set me up in my tiny home years ago, before anybody really had any idea that not very long from then, just a few years from that point that I started living in my tiny home, a lot of other people would be living in campers too. And I felt so down about myself for quite a while. I just felt like I wasn't successful, and it was just all that crap conditioning shutting off. And I just have become more and more grateful to have my tiny home. It's feeling like part of my ascension has been to just bounce around from place to place after my kids were raised. It started actually right before. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Just not feeling settled. And I was just asking them as they were coming in with the answer to why was it like that? And part of it was to remind me that this isn't home. Yeah, it was like no matter what happened, I could never fully relax for quite a while there. And that was, that's the beginning of the ascension. Well, after my waters broke, after my remembering experience with Muji, that's when my ascension really accelerated. It was like that for about, it was really incredibly painful for the first few years. And I was sent guides also. I was always sent guides, always sent something to listen to. I've always had ocean. But there's something about even having people that love us when we can't explain exactly what we're going through because we don't understand it ourselves. It's a feeling of nobody understands, not one person. Yeah, and they're saying that's ego identity shutting off also. So, but it feels real at the time because it's just automatically who we've always thought we were. And then when that's shutting off, it's just like, why do I feel like I'm dying? Well, because it's kind of like we are. Yeah, but it's okay because it's leading to healing all of humanity. This ascension is because people will be seeing through their right eyes again, their heart eyes. Our true nature's eyes. Silence. I've been calling it presence, and it's so many different names, just like God is so many different names we could call God. But the other day I was listening to Ramana Maharshi, and he just kept referring to presence as silence, and I was just like, that's where I just feel like that word, the description of what we are, all that is, the divine God, has just gotten more fine-tuned over the years, and silence is to me the epitome of, and expansiveness too. But silence is definitely, because that if I did have a pointer for meditation is being in our natural state of being. But to practice being in our natural state, because it hasn't been familiar for so long, is meditation. And to me, it's not controlling the breathing, because that's already the divine breathing for us, breathing us. So why would we mess with that? Unless we're just trying to relax our physical form, relax our mind. But there shouldn't be very much focus at all on any type of practice besides listening. And, shortly, very, very shortly after my remembering experience with Muji, my mind was a tsunami. But he kept helping me remember how to access silence again. And, I was always so relieved, because it was really scary. I was used to it in a way, that just constant chatter. But then when I had a taste of not being up there, feeling like I was trapped in my mind for 3 whole days, getting a taste of, who I really am, and then having it come back and seemingly knock me unconscious again. That was absolutely terrifying. It was the most frightening part of the whole ascension process. But it's actually very easy after it is. It's easy to remember it also, but it seems incredibly difficult, insurmountable, but obviously it's not. But we can help you remember. I've noticed very quickly, we can, just by, if the person, they're saying the key really is whoever we're talking to, if they are very ready, if they're experiencing the gift of desperation, even not just really bad things happening in their life, but the desperation like I used to have of knowing, like, what is it? I didn't even know there was such a thing as an awakening or our true self, or, I would hear these things, but I had no idea. Ocean and I have talked about it. I used to feel like there was a piece of plexiglass between myself and everybody else. It wasn't even like a bubble, but just I can't really hear you. I can't fully connect to you. And I would go out in the forest and I would hug trees. I still do. There's just no energy like it. That's where they named me last summer. They said they didn't name me. They said, you are a tree in motion. Ugh. That's absolutely incredible, because when I hug a tree, I close my eyes and all of a sudden, I see more and more the more I've done it. And I always see roots going out through my feet, and I swear I can feel it too. And the roots are just like with the tree's roots. It's quite profound. And then, however long I hug the tree for, then I basically become the tree. I see, my head sprouting out as a tree, and birds coming, and it's beautiful. Talk about grounding. And that's when they said, and they still do too. They don't say it like that first time, but every time I hug a tree now, they remind me that I'm a tree in motion. I used to just go out there and hug trees and sob. And I'm just like, I know you know what this is, that I don't feel like I can connect with you. What is it? And I'd just be like, please show me. And they're like, shh, listen. And shortly after my remembering experience, I knew that I had to start meditating. I had no idea how to do it, but I had tried before, and it made my mind even more busy than it was. And I was just like, no way, man. I don't want to do that. That's the boogeyman they're showing me at the gates of everything you've ever wanted. Yeah, that if your mind has bothered you most of your life, and you do something that you feel like, okay, intuitively, I know, and everybody keeps saying too, you gotta meditate, go within. What? Where? Within where? I didn't know, but I wanted it badly. I had the gift of desperation for a very long time. And so, and it is a gift. If hadn't had that motivation, I wouldn't be a clear open channel for the divine to pour through. Yeah, it's all worth it. So I started meditating. It was up this place that I used to live. I called it 15 Acres of Heaven. I went up there with my childhood friend, my best friend I've talked about, the one that we're not friends anymore, for a very long time, shortly after my remembering experience, right after that trip, actually, that I took with her to our old childhood stomping grounds. Yeah, she left my life. And because our bond was more of a trauma bond. I met her when she was 9 and I was 12. And it was a really great childhood, but into adulthood, I would realize, I saw along the way that she never really reciprocated the love towards me in a good way. Like she wouldn't call me back. That's a huge one. She'd say, I'll call you right back, or I'll call you tomorrow. And she never would. And I noticed that, but I tolerated it. Yeah, after our remembering experience, what seemed tolerable still hurt though. It literally becomes intolerable. The first week of my remembering experience, I left my husband that I was married to for 10 months. It became absolutely intolerable. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's incredibly painful, but huge chunks of conditioning go out the window. And also, yeah, so the listening. I was sitting there up, where we grew up, and just in a beautiful meadow. It was heavenly growing up there. Some of my best childhood memories ever. And so I was sitting there and I closed my eyes. I felt incredibly safe. And right away, like 2-3 minutes in, they said, this has been happening to other channelers too. Their throat starts getting messed with. Witch and Scythe. It's been happening to her a lot too. They said, take your ears off, turn them around, and put them back on. And when I did, they were angled down, and then they said, listen. And it's been that way ever since. And listening, silence, listening to silence, to me, it feels like the easiest way to slip in to presence, to slip into that silence that we are. So I just asked them about, because these energies bring up, things that have come up so many times. And I used to go with it. I used to react when something like, should I be using marijuana, came back up again. I used to just obsess about it until I would have to quit, to just stop thinking about it. So I've discovered over the years that whether I'm using it or not using it, there's the potential to overthink about it, or to overthink about anything. I don't have to justify. This is, in all the research that I've been doing for myself, this isn't for anybody else but myself. So I'm not telling you should ever use marijuana, or that it would help, thin the veil for you, or anything like that. This is my own personal experience. So they just said, okay, I wrote it down. Because I said, I know I've asked you so many times, and you always make everything so plainly obvious. Are you already making it plainly obvious that I should or shouldn't be using marijuana? I feel like I've been onto it, that it's just another thought that comes in. Because I haven't been reacting to any of it. I have been working really diligently on, they're reminding me of this, by the way, on turning my attention away from any obsessive thoughts about it, about doing it or not doing it, starving all of that. And then it's like, then the truth has room to bloom, to show up. And they're saying, Yes, that's right. They're reminding me that Moonstar actually channeled me a message about it a couple weeks ago. I I know that she channels the ancients now. There's no mistaking when I get a message from them, from myself, from them, or through Moonstar now, and Ocean also. I said, do you guys, I asked about, is it okay if I use it? And she waited for a second. And that's one way I also know that I'm getting a channeled message. She's not like, well, no, you know right away that that person is trying to think. And no, that is not a channeled message. We step out of the way, and then whatever comes through, comes through. And I was waiting, and I could tell that she was waiting too. And she wasn't thinking anything, and what came through was, you still need it. That was it. So simple. And I got full body chills, and I felt so excited. Oh my gosh, I said, wow, that's so true. Because I know that, well, I know the brain is, what is it? Neuroplastic? Yeah, it's neuroplasticity. It can heal. Anyway, we don't need to get into that. But so I'm just like, okay, my goal has always been to not use anything. However, marijuana seems to make my brain better. It just seems to make it function like it should function. It makes me feel like my body should naturally feel. So my question is, so if I stopped using it completely, for good, if I was able to do that, would I somehow feel like I do when I use it? Would I feel, because when I don't, and I've went long periods of time without, I went almost 8.5 years without anything when I first quit drinking. And then I've went, 6 to 8 months increments without smoking or using marijuana at all. Because, and I learned definitely in a different way. But I always feel better when I use it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how my brain should feel. This is, it lets all the, I have an amazing anti-inflammatory now. But before that, the marijuana would take the pressure out of my body. The energetic pressure, they're saying. And it still does that. My doctor says I have the blood pressure of a child. So they said, I have little mini conversations with the ancients. I just asked for the millionth time if it's okay that I use marijuana. And they asked me, if you weren't worried about how much money you spend on it, would you still wonder if using marijuana is holding you back in any way as far as fulfilling your destiny on the planet? No, not at all. I would 100% feel like it helps me. Yeah, it helps me relax. It helps me sleep. It helps me do everything it feels like this physical form would do if it's functioning at its highest performance. They helped me say that. I used to, when something would be up and then I would go back and forth about it, back and forth, just absolute mental torture ping pong. And I wouldn't figure it out. I mean, I'd absolutely finally have to quit in order to stop thinking it. That's how bad it used to be. But now when it starts to do it, I forgot that I was actually starving those thoughts too. Because when it comes up, it's annoying. But then I've been going with it for a minute, like, should I? But then I just pray, like I did this morning. It came up, I was just like, you know what? I'm really tired of this just coming up, and I can be tired of something coming up, but it's okay if it comes up. The reason why it still comes up is because I give it attention. Anything that comes up and I give it attention, it's still going to come up. So I ultimately hold all the power. It's not the thought's faults. So I am working on getting to a place, because it will be made plainly obvious if it's not meant to be in my life anymore. And see, I've been using it today and I haven't forgot at all. That has been a matter of practice also. And also at times that when I don't have to go any further. No, I am maturing. I am maturing because I'm really not that old. I had my remembering experience with Muji, and I felt like that was like the day I was born. It was a rebirth, like no other rebirth. Remembering our own and experiencing our own true nature in this physical form, and not ever having to forget it again. It may seem like I had forgotten it, but once we remember, we can't forget. They're also showing me, oh, so having this human experience, it's a part of this experience to forget. Like we sign up for this amnesia. But they're saying that is temporary also. So it's inevitable for every being that signs up for this human experience to remember that they're not actually this human. That's really good news. Everybody. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little example of why I didn't drive today. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, is that it, Ancients? And there are some people, because that's their experience, that's what's happening in their experience, is that they're not using, they used to use marijuana and they're not using it anymore. And they may tell you, yeah, life is so much better without it. And that is their experience right now. And that's them. It's not my experience. Even Ramana Maharshi, I'm like, okay, do I need to cut off all social media and just be quiet, like him all the time in order to get there? I've already got it. I got there. I've already remembered. And so it's just a matter of like becoming the person naturally by, shedding the old, and then we're just automatically like basically the essence of the divine coming through this physical form, and definitely conditioned, but in such a more peaceful and constructive way for humanity. Yeah, I just love that. Boundaries equal compassion. Yeah, when I'm making these videos, I'm like, wow, that's just so beautiful. But I'm on the verge of tears right now because it's so beautiful to me that I'm learning to balance that. And also, it's a new moon and solar eclipse energy. And Witch Inside Tarot, she's just phenomenal. She's like, well, no, there's another one too. She was talking about how emotional this energy can make us, because Venus just went into Pisces, and I'm on the cusp of Aries and Pisces. March 22nd at 2:22 in the morning. And so Pisces, oh my gosh, I mean, talk about emotional, and then fire, and then I have 2 or 3 major planets in Sagittarius. So, I've been all steam and just crying and crying throughout my whole life, but, I won't have a heart attack because I've been crying so much. I release the pressure. It's like I was made to not be able to hold it in. Yeah. So I used to think it was a curse, but it's actually a blessing. It really is. Ancients, is there anything else we want to talk about? There's always an opportunity for us to be true to ourselves. And financial fear was up, and I was just like, I gotta go clean this house. No, I don't. No, I'm home with my beautiful little guy for a very good reason, and I trust that. So I pray that you can override, it's not logic in general, but the logic that tries to come in to keep us from trusting our intuition. To be the black sheep, basically. More and more people are trusting their intuition, but it's not that easy. It's really not. And I just, we applaud you. You're so courageous. It's the shortcut to happiness, trusting our intuition. My goodness. Gosh, am I holding this right? Here, let me see. Okay, once and for all. Okay, it's more flat. Dozer, he's a cute baby. I'm gonna cut cut his toenails today. All right. Is that it for now, Ancients? I know I already asked them, but I wasn't listening. Oh, was there more? Yes. And when I asked, okay, and when I asked the same question about the people I love, I don't see it blocking them either, ever. I've scanned, when I've asked this question, is it okay that I use it? I've scanned my life and everybody that I love, you know, that uses it, anybody that I love that uses it, and I immediately don't feel like it's blocking their path. I feel like it's helping them release resistance. And that message, yeah, I still need it. And then, oh yeah, that's right. The rest of the message from Moonstar and the Ancients was, it'll be made, you still need it, and it'll be made plainly obvious if you don't. Yeah. Okay, so remove this fear and direct my attention to what you'd have me be, as far as money goes. Okay, here. I don't see that's blocking them. So new moon, solar eclipse, please keep my thinking and use balanced. Yeah, that's all it is balancing it. But see, as shedding all these addictions, you know, anorexia, alcoholism, cigarettes, those, it's like, okay, is this an addiction? And I tried to manage, you know, I tried to manage cigarettes, I tried to manage food, I tried to manage alcohol, and I couldn't. And so it's like, okay, is this just like those? But those weren't helping me. They reminded me last night. Thank you. Those weren't helping me in any way. It seemed like the alcohol was my anesthetic, you know. It seemed to help me for a while. I'm not saying this for you, but for me, it seemed to make me feel better, release resistance for a while. But then as any helper, any guide that is, you know, in our life to help us along for a while, once we don't need that guide anymore and we got to walk on our own, you know, until the next guide, or, you know, to go to the next guide, if we don't let it go, it's just going to hurt us. It's not going to help us anymore. But for me, medical marijuana, and I say medical marijuana because I have my medical card. A doctor gave me, you know, he helped me get this card, and I've had it for many, many years. And I feel that instead of using any type of drugs, you know, pharmaceuticals, I would much rather have this to help balance me out. And it really has. So, but remember, that's just for me. Disclaimers. My bangs are, and then I'm going to go. My bangs are so close. They're like, they won't stay yet. Really close though, like maybe 1/4 of an inch. And I'll be able to tuck them behind my ears again and never ever cut them again. I know I've said that before, but I'm really not going to this time. No way. Well, at least I didn't cut all of my hair. And it's getting back to its awesome natural color. It's super dark underneath though. Yeah, it's so crazy how this is my natural hair too. It's so pretty. I love the color. I can't believe I colored it for so long. Well, it's that ego identity shedding off. Oh, I look so old with it this color. No, I don't. No way, man. It's what's coming through that makes you look old or not. Yeah, and I'm working out. All right, we're going for now. We love you so incredibly much, and we're so proud of you. Hang in there. You're doing great. You're getting cosmic A+, they're saying.